Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs Pregame Show presented by PointsBet. Use the promo code CHGO when you sign up to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. I'm Luke Stuckmeyer. Cody Del Mendo is here. Corey Friedman is here. And Kyle Williams as we're getting ready for the Cubs and Rockies to start their series out in the Mile High City. Of course, that means one thing. Kris Bryant, of course. How do you guys feel?
I thought you were going to wait at least 5 minutes.
No, right out of the gate. Let's get right to it. It's the KB series. First time that we will see him facing the Cubs in a Rockies uniform. We've seen him in the Giants. How did you feel when he faced the Cubs as a member of the Giants, and how do you think you'll feel tonight?
At least for me, first off, it's nice to be sitting by you, Luke. I'm usually sitting over there.
Right, yeah. So I can see your Jordans up close.
Yeah, show them off a little bit. For me, I think it's a lot easier for me since I already saw him play with the Giants. I actually went to one of the games when the Giants came to Wrigley in September of last year, and everyone remembers they gave him the tribute video, gave him the number from the scoreboard, and he cried, all that stuff. People are never going to forget that. And I feel like that was kind of like, at that time it felt like closure, but I think free agency really was closure. It was like, okay, it's not going to happen. I can stop hoping and praying that he comes back. So, yeah, tonight for me personally, it's weird for sure. I've seen pictures of him in a Rockies uniform, but, I don't know. Like, I think as every Cubs fan has said, I think he's beloved by everyone in the city, at least the large majority. And, we're hoping he has a great rest of his career. Who knows? Maybe somehow, some way finds his way back on the Cubs one day if the Rockies decide to trade him like they trade all their other good players. But, to me, as far as like emotional roller coaster of it all, like I'm kind of whatever. Like, I don't want him to go up there and strike out 4 times in 4 bats, but I don't want him to beat the Cubs either. So,
how about you, Corey?
I think I'm about the same. Last summer was kind of ripping the Band-Aid off, and he was the only one that came back, so we had to see and do that whole standing ovation thing, like Cody mentioned, watching him cry on the field at Wrigley Field. So I'm not over it. He, besides John Lester, he's probably my favorite player of that era and definitely one of my favorite players in my lifetime as a Cubs fan. But at this point, like, it's we've been through this, right? What I'm not looking forward to in this series is hearing about his, new contract, how he's so excited for this new chapter. His wife, Jess, has posted pictures of their son in Rockies gear and stuff. And like, I remember when they first had their first kid and, all the Cubs gear and you sort of like build that family, and you watch that as a fan. That part I'm not excited about. In terms of like missing him or ripping that Band-Aid off, that already happened. That Giant series was rough. Like, because that was so soon after the deadline. Mm-hmm. It was like you get used to them not being on the team. You're coming to terms with the decision-making and all of that, and like, it's like, a month later, here he is in another uniform at Wrigley Field. It's like, wow, this is aggressive. So this is different than that.
You accepted it, Kyle?
I think I am. I've accepted it. Him coming back to Wrigley, I thought that was just a great sports moment, just with the Cubs playing Warm It Up, Chris, when he came up to bat, then you had the tears. I just thought it was a great moment. Also, like, my formative years as a sports fan, the Bulls traded Derrick Rose. That was my favorite player, and that one was probably harder to accept, so it made this one a little more easier.
I'm with you on that, too. Derrick Rose was, like, my favorite athlete as a kid. Like, he came with the Bulls when I was, like, in my mid to late teens, and like the entire city fell in love with him. But like, I remember when the Bulls traded him, I had like all these D Rose posters and stuff on my wall, and like I had to take it down so I didn't have to see it for a little bit.
I have like every one of his shoes.
The Cubs, obviously the Cubs are, as a team and everything, they are they have always been number one to me as far as teams in the city. But what's different between Derrick Rose and how the Bulls traded him and the Cubs and how they traded Bryant and the rest of them is I think we all kind of knew it was coming anyway. You know, I held out some hope. A lot of us held out some hope. But when the Bulls traded Derrick Rose, that came out of nowhere. So, you know, that's the difference in those two scenarios.
I need like a wardrobe update though. Like I'm happy to have all the Kris Bryant gear, Anthony Rizzo gear, and stuff like that. But like I walked into my closet, you know, coming to the studio today. I got a lot of Kris Bryant shirts. It makes me sad. Yeah, I'm happy to wear
take
them.
the Bryant off the back and put like Grace.
I would never do that.
No, not gonna do it. Huh?
You could do what my buddy does and just puts duct tape over the name.
But even like shirts, I've got
man.
like a Bryant to
Jersey.
Waveland like CTA sign type thing that the Cubs
could
didn't
still
give
put
away.
duct tape
Like,
over.
There's an easy answer to this. You replace it all with CHGO
Hell yeah.
dope merch.
Like this dope
That's a
merch.
good
like that
solution.
right there. Kris Bryant, by the way, 7 hits in 28 bats, batting .350 so far. He talked to the media. Our Ryan Herrera is in Colorado at Coors Field. So let's hear from Kris Bryant.
I mean, you work so hard to get to this point in your baseball career, and for it to happen, I guess it doesn't feel like I thought it would feel. I mean, I'm still like I was before I ever, you know, got traded or signed a contract, mentally or just competition-wise. But, you know, I can fall back on the fact that I know where I'm going to be, and I don't have to hear any rumors or any of that. And so there is a piece in that. And but yeah, I guess I kind of got over those feelings last year when I did get traded, because it was talked about for a long time, so I never knew what was going to happen, and it finally did. And then it was like, okay, now I know I'm here for the rest of the year, and I know what I got going in the off season, so I can just really relax, you know, and kind of got over it then.
You were really diplomatic when we talked to you that day when you were back with San Francisco about not ruling out, you know, off season, what could happen, potentially coming back. But when when the trade happened going in the off season, like, did you feel like you got the closure you needed for the Chicago chapter of your career? I guess, how did you kind of view that? Did you really have a piece of you that thought that coming back in the off season was a possibility?
Yeah, there was possible. I mean, we had some very preliminary talks, more like shorter term stuff. But I guess I don't know if that chapter will ever close until I'm done playing baseball, because I rely on a lot of what I went through there to make me who I am now and help me in the future with the guys here. So I'm not ever going to close that chapter, because I had a lot of fun there, and I'm going to have a lot of fun here. But it's just, you know, I want to do what I did there for another team, and I'm looking forward to making those memories too.
See, I'm looking at the comments while I'm listening to Kris Bryant, and Niren looks like he's maybe one of the Cubs fans that has turned on Kris Bryant.
Yeah.
And there's others in there that brags in the stands. You know, that's my favorite Cub ever. I don't personally.
Shout out to Greg.
Yeah, I don't understand. This isn't just Niren. I'm just saying I don't understand that feeling. I don't know what he ever did for someone to be angry about him leaving. He got $182 million.
I think it comes down to
took the money and left,
you know,
and
it was kind of all the stuff we talked about when David Kaplan was on here, and like me and him, we basically hashed it out in a way. It's like, do you believe if Kris Bryant was told if he got an extension or not, and he says no, and then you look at the other spectrum and was like, do you really think Theo Epstein was going to be that dumb? It's hard for me to believe that.
But let's
you know what I mean?
say it's either way. Even if it goes either way, I can't blame a guy for taking $182 million and leaving.
Right.
He won the World Series. He won Rookie of the Year. He did everything.
And he made
got
more
screwed by the
money.
franchise early
You know.
on in his career. Maybe that was still a factor, but
Yeah.
he won you the World Series.
Right.
He was the MVP of the league. He was Rookie of the Year. If he wants to take $182 million, thanks for the memories. I don't get why
And you don't
anybody's angry at him.
We don't necessarily know if he would have made more money if he had signed that extension in after 2016, like that was rumored, right? So
Niren does say I love him for 2016.
right.
Anyways, by the way, will he homer in which game of this series?
I'll say Saturday.
I'm going to say tonight.
I don't think he homers.
I think he homers tonight.
I'm going to go tonight.
I'll say Saturday too, just because the pitching might, you know, we're not really sure how that's going to play out.
I think it's coming in game one.
I believe in my guy Justin Steele tonight. So.
All right. Let's take a look at the Cubs lineup for this game. Clint Frazier leading off and DHing, so we'll see what happens there. Nick Madrigal back at second base. VR getting the start at short. I think Frank Schwindel's a guy who might homer tonight, playing first, and then Seiya, who has been so fun to watch. You know, we're talking about the disappointment for Cubs fans of losing someone like Kris Bryant, and then there's the an excitement of seeing this new player who's now homered 3 times in the last 2 games. Yan Gomes getting the start at catcher. Hermosillo, Happ, Wisdom, the guy replacing Kris Bryant, back at third base. What do you think of today's lineup?
Corey, you want to go first?
It's good by me. I mean, another lefty here. So obviously we saw a lot of righties in that Milwaukee series. So seeing Clint, we're all aboard the Clint hype train, I think. So hoping he continues to show, what we saw in spring training and a little more of what we're hoping to see from him. Nico with the day off, so interesting to see VR out there hit the ball really hard in that last game in Pittsburgh. Only had 1 hit, but hit the ball hard. And good to see Hermosillo out there. This is a tough outfield to play in. The ball flies, big alleys. You got that kind of like weird wall in right field. So interested to see how the defense aligns out there and, just how they perform. But I'm glad that Hermosillo, who maybe is like the best pure athlete out there, is getting a chance in center field, because I think that'll be helpful.
Right. For me, if I were to nitpick, it is not having Nico out there, and only because it is at Coors Field, and I'm expecting a lot of contact tonight. So any ground balls up the middle, I'd like to have Nico at short.
And we both took the over on home runs for Madrigal and Horner combined this year.
Yeah, of course.
And so this would be a good place to pick up 1 or 2 of those.
And the thing is like, I'd still want VR in the game, because against Freeland, he's like 7 for 8 or something. Like, he's batting .875 for his career against Freeland. So yeah, I want VR in the game. I guess if I were to change, I'd put VR at third and take Wisdom out and put Nico back in. But Wisdom brings that power factor. I know the Cubs need to play him to find out, like, is he someone that we can use or not? So it's a kind of a tough situation. I expect Horner to be back in the lineup tomorrow. I also wouldn't be surprised if he enters the game later tonight. He's just not going to start. So that's really the only complaint I have. And I'm like Corey, I love that Hermosillo's in the game. Again, I'm hoping he bounces back from the last game he played where he struck out a few times. So, again, center field's kind of like his taking. If he can give you a couple really good consecutive games or something, it's going to earn him more time. And like he said, with being an athlete and everything, I just think he has more upside than the rest of anyone that we're playing in center right now, at least until Brennan Davis comes up.
Kyle, who are you looking at in that lineup saying, I'd like to watch him tonight?
I'm a big Clint Frazier guy. I'm a big out of all of the signings they made, to me, he's the most interesting. He has the pedigree. He has all the talent, just about putting it together and staying healthy. And he's only 27 years old. And, I mean, he's struggling through his 11 plate appearances, just a 200 batting average. But I'm always excited to see him get more at-bats and see maybe he's a player, maybe he's not. But for a team like the Cubs that's in this weird middle phase right now, it doesn't hurt to find out if a guy with his talent is here for the foreseeable future.
I saw Cody before the pregame show started here just kind of pounding away on his keyboard, and I was like, oh, this has to be gambling. It's got to be some points bet deal. Were you betting on Bryant hits? Were you betting on Bryant homers? Or was it not Cub involved at all?
I do like Suzuki to get an RBI tonight. I like him in that 5-hole and the way he's been playing. I think he can, drive one in tonight, and I think the over-under on the game is 11 runs, so Vegas is expecting a lot of runs tonight. So as far as a Cub, I do like Suzuki to do something. But as far as Bryant, a lot of people want to take that home run bet, but I like him to get 2+ total bases. So, a double would get that. It's at like -120, so Vegas thinks that's like kind of a lock. So, I mean, I could do a parlay of all Bryant stuff for fun.
I feel like we should do a podcast. We should have our own podcast money bank that we start with. The bosses should fund us like, a couple $100, and we should make a team bet every night.
That would be fun.
CHGO Cubs account.
Yeah.
And at the end of the season, whoever's been on the show splits the cash.
Ooh.
I'm for it.
I'm here for
I
it.
came up with an idea. Good thing Jake's still in the
Let's
building.
say, is Jake here still? Someone tell Jake.
Jake just covered his ears and went thumbs down. Thumbs down. Oh, no, now he's thumbs up. Oh, yeah, he's giving a big thumbs up.
Hell yeah.
I think it's an idea. Just throwing it out there. Points bet if you're listening. We'd love to do it for you.
Is this a transition?
Yeah, you want to do it?
Yeah.
You want me to do it?
No, I'll do it right now. So the best way to support CHGO is to download the PointsBet app and use code CHGO when you sign up. If you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of our web content, and you'll even get a free shirt of your choice from the CHGO locker. If you have any questions, email pointsbet@allchgo.com, and we'll help you. Someone just emailed me the other day, or tweeted the Cubs account, or not tweeted, but DM'd it and asked about it, and I sent them the email. So it works, I promise you. Remember that PointsBet is your home for live in-game betting. They even have a new exclusive feature, live NBA same-game parlay. For the first time ever, build the perfect live same-game parlay only with PointsBet. Combine your favorite bets anytime during the game. You can even boost your live same-game parlays. And now online sign-up is available in Illinois. You can actually download the PointsBet app right now and register your account from start to finish, all from your phone. Signing up with the fastest sportsbook is now easier than ever, so you can start living your bet life in seconds. Use code CHGO to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. So what are you waiting for? Once the game starts, don't just bet. Live your bet life with PointsBet. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
By the way, have you spent all the money that you won the other day on your large financial investment?
Nope. Thank you, PointsBet. My mic's not plugged in.
Oh, his mic's not plugged in. Sorry. By the way, I knew this pregame show was hot, but I had no idea how hot until I noticed that the chat had Naked HD, man, the best girls in the world.
Ooh.
Wow. 4 comments in a row. I don't know that we should even look to see what the comments were. But once again, just pointing out just how hot the CHGO Cubs pregame show can
If
be.
you ain't here, I don't know what you're doing, Berg. Change your priorities.
Let's jump ahead just for a second, and we'll get to the pitching matchup and all those things. But tomorrow is the 75th anniversary of Jackie Robinson, correct?
Believe so.
Kyle's got something coming for us on all CHGO that's going to be open for everybody, and it's going to be a great article. You're not quite done, right?
Not quite done yet, but talked to Willie Harris, talked to Jason Hayward, so I'm excited for how it's going to come out. I've talked to Shaquille Taylor as well. Should be a great article. Check it out.
I'm excited about this because I remember when we were talking about, hey, the lockout was still going on, and I had targeted tomorrow as the day of saying they have got to get baseball back before they miss the 75th anniversary of Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier in baseball, because it would be tragic. Like, it's a good thing that we do it. The flag flies in every ballpark, but that would have been a bad day for Major League Baseball to miss. And so I'm glad the game's back. I'm glad it's going to get the attention it deserves. Any teaser you can give us from what maybe Jason Hayward or somebody said?
One thing I can say is Willie Harris is from the same hometown as Jackie Robinson in Georgia, and Jason Hayward actually played against that very same high school that the Jackie Robinson's hometown is from. So those are some interesting tidbits, and with those two, you really see how much they care about the impact of Jackie Robinson and pushing it forward. So not just celebrating Jackie Robinson, but celebrating him and then taking the game forward, doing what they can, giving back to the foundation, which Jay Hay is donating his game salary tomorrow for Jackie Robinson Day. And Jackie Robinson's just, important in the history of baseball. And his biggest dream was to see a black manager in baseball, or black coaches. And Willie Harris is the third base coach. So Willie has a very deep connection with Jackie Robinson.
Very
That's
cool.
awesome.
Looking forward to it. Kyle will have that for us at allchgo.com. Open to everybody, although we'd love you to be a member to read it. You won't have to be to get that article, and it'll be there at least by tomorrow morning, we know. Let's take a look at the pitching matchup for tonight. Steele against Freeland. Listen, To me, let's talk about Justin Steele first, because his first game was exactly what the Cubs want to see most of his season look like.
Right.
5 innings, no runs, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk, and in the words of the kids around here, he shoved. No, he was good. Honestly, he was really good.
He was good. He
If
was
you
great.
set an expectation for Justin Steele for the season, it would be, can we get that guy 2 out of 3, 3 out of 4 starts?
Yeah, I mean, and he, obviously that first time through the rotation with that quick spring training, if he would have been all the way revved up, he probably could have gone to the 6th or even the 7th inning. Let's be real. I put down the Brewers' offense in their lineup, but they do have hitters, and he shut them down in a big way on Saturday. So now he goes into Coors, has to deal with not only the hitters but the ballpark as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how things go. For me, I'm hoping for another 5 innings because if the Rockies get in that bullpen early in the beginning of the series, it's not going to bode well for the Cubs the rest of the series. So I'm hoping for at least 5 innings and just keep the Cubs in the game.
I see Jack on the chat saying he's worried about Steele tonight. Are you worried about Steele because it's his second start this season, or are you worried about it because it's coming at Coors Field where most pitchers are probably a little bit uneasy? It's not pitcher-friendly, that's for sure.
I mean, Coors is a tough place to pitch, and Steele is still in that portion of his career where he's putting things together, trying to execute changes that he's made over the offseason and, again, just like put his whole repertoire together. So this is a tough task for him, but he's routinely showed that, he's got the attitude and the presence to take on these moments. So I don't think that he's going to be going into this start, worried about pitching in Coors. And, no Nico at short tonight, but the Rockies lead the league in hitting ground balls, even higher rate of ground balls against left-handers. So that's what you want to see. It's been a recipe for success for the Cubs starters pretty much all season, and that's what you're looking for. Put the ball on the ground, and hopefully the defense can eat them up and convert them to outs. Keep the ball out of the air. It's a good. The Rockies are doing that anyway, and it's a good recipe at Coors Field. So that's the key to success for Justin Steele tonight.
That is a good recipe for success. However, the Rockies are in first place. They took 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers. You're not catching a Rockies team that you might see in the middle of the season that's lost 8 in a row or 9 in a row or 10 in a row. They're playing pretty good baseball out of the gate.
Yeah, they are playing some very good baseball out of the gate, but it's early. It's gonna, as we saw yesterday with Hendricks, it's still April. There's a lot of wonky stuff still going on, especially with the abbreviated spring training. But I'm interested to see how the outfield defense is tonight. It's already not the strongest point of the team, but you have Happ out there, Suzuki's first time in Coors, and Hermosillo, that helps. Him being a great athlete helps. But I'm interested to see if the ball does get out in the outfield area, how do they react? How do they play it tonight?
Right. I think you mentioned him earlier. You thought Frank Schwindel is going to hit a home run tonight. I don't know if he hits a home run, but I think he does have a big game. I thought his at-bats yesterday in the finale against Pittsburgh were pretty good. He saw a lot of pitches. I think as far as what I could see on the game cast, which obviously I can't see the game, but I was following on my phone most of it, and he saw a lot of pitches. He worked a walk in one of the at-bats. I think that bodes well for tonight. He's hitting a lot of tough luck as well. So, this ballpark, for me at least, I think if the Cubs win tonight, Frank Schwindel has a big night. So.
I did notice that Ferris is asking, where's the Michelob Ultra?
It's in the fridge. I'll have one on the postgame if we win tonight.
The postgame show.
Yeah. Which the Cubs haven't lost when we do postgame. We'll just let you know.
That's a good point.
They only lose when Brendan and I are doing the podcast.
That's right.
The show.
That's right.
They're 0 for 2.
And
so.
if they win tonight, they're all alone in first place again because the Cardinals lost to the Brewers.
I do just one thing because we touched him on a little bit, but a good stat from Michael Bowling. Jonathan VR, 7 for 8 in his career with 2 doubles, homer, 3 RBIs off of Freeland. So I think he might be a guy to watch. I mentioned the ground ball rate of the Rockies, so you kind of, you might want Nico out there. He's the better defender, but obviously injured most years in his career, so you want to be careful, making sure he's ready for the long haul. And VR seems to have Freeland's number, so That's why he's in there, and that's why he's hitting so high in the order. So,
And Freeland was not good in his first start either. So you're coming in.
He's bad, real bad.
Yeah, what, three and 2/3 innings, 5 earned, 6 strikeouts. That was against. That was against
the Dodgers,
right? Yeah. So, it's bounce back for him is what Rockies fans are hoping for. But again, I felt like against the Pirates, there was a lot of hard contact that just went the Pirates' way. The BABIP odds were not in our favor there. So the Cubs are due to break out a little bit on offense, and hopefully Suzuki
and hopefully
keeps up with
Nick,
it too.
Hopefully Madrigal has a nice game. He made some hard contact in that Pirates series, but as you've talked about and we've talked about, like, he may not be the type of player for everyone, but it does still feel like people are like quite hard on him and negative on him. You don't have to love a pure contact average hitter. I get that, but we're 5 games into his era as a Cub, and hopefully in Colorado tonight, I'd like him to have a good game to at least just calm Cubs Twitter down a little bit. You can never calm Cubs Twitter down completely.
No,
a little bit.
We don't want to.
Yeah,
we don't want to.
We love Cubs Twitter.
All right, let's get to it then. Who you got? Let's start with Kyle. Who are you picking offensively as a big hero tonight? We're going to try and keep a tally this season. See who's the smartest on our team.
I'm gonna go with Suzuki. I think he's
Smart move.
He's gonna continue the hot start that he's had, and just out of the lineup, he's the best bet to have a good offensive night, even at Coors.
All right, Corey.
I mean, VR seems like the safe bet because he's got the numbers against Freeland, but I won't do that. I'll take Hermosillo, and I think he pops one tonight. Colorado, yeah.
Okay, Hermosillo.
See, I was gonna take every time Hermosillo's in the lineup, I just want to take him like I did the other day. I guess how about Clint Frazier? He's leading off.
Oh.
He mashes against lefties. So yeah, and he's had some good at bats. He's been kind of he's just kind of riding a little roller coaster right now. Now we need a big hill. That's what I'm looking for that right now tonight.
So nobody's taking VR.
Are you taking VR?
Well, I thought Cody was taking VR. Then you start talking about it. I'm like, oh, he's going to take VR. So we're going to have 2 VRs. Now it comes to me, and I was taking Suzuki because last post-game show we had it. I said, it's either Suzuki or Schwindel, and I'll go with Schwindel. And then, of course, Suzuki hits a home run. Now I was ready to take Suzuki, but VR's still sitting there. He seems like statistically the right guy to take.
Yeah.
But I can't do it to Suzuki again. I can't make that mistake twice. So there's going to be 2 Suzukis.
I thought this rule is that we all had to choose someone different.
You want to go that way?
I thought that was the rule because he took Hermosillo. And
well, if I'm told I can't do it, then I'm going VR.
Unwritten rules of the
right.
CHGO Cubs podcast.
Once the guy's gone, you can't take him. All right, I'm taking VR.
I read VR's numbers, but I want to look cool. Hermosillo's hitting 7th. Like, he hasn't had that hot start yet. I want to look cool.
No. I changed it. I'm going Schwindel.
Frank the Tank.
Okay.
Like, now if VR gets a hit, I'm just going to be so mad. But I'm on record. I'm going Frank the Tank tonight. That's my pick.
That's a good pick. I think the Cubs win if Schwindel gets 2 hits tonight.
We'll see. We're going to stick around. Kyle's going to go write his article. You won't be here for postgame?
Nope. Tomorrow.
Be working hard. You'll be here tomorrow. Okay. 3 of us will still be here. Thanks for dropping in to check out the CHGO Cubs Pregame Show presented by PointsBet. We'll see you after the Cubs and Rockies in the Mile High City. We'll be here for the postgame show, and we hope you will too.